Hello students, good afternoon. In yesterday we talk about that is a microscopic structure of nephron. But in today's session we are particularly talk about the physiology of the urine formation. The physiology of urine formation consists of the two kind of process. There is a chemical process and there is a mechanical process. Okay. First upon chemical process and second one is the mechanical process. In this chemical process there is a chemical process consists of the two steps. First one is deamination and second one is ornithine cycle. So what is a deamination? Deamination means the process of conversion of amino acid, means removal of amino group from amino acid. Okay. And because in all of you know that during the process of metabolism many wastage are produced in our body. So out of this some are useful for us and some are harmful, means generally, and harmful substances, especially nitrogenous substances, are separated from the blood by the process of excretion. So kidneys are the organs of excretion. So now the question will be arise, what is the main source of this nitrogenous material? No doubt the separation and elimination of nitrogenous wastage from the blood is called the excretion. But what is the main source of this nitrogenous material? How they are produced in our body? So the principal source of the nitrogenous material is proteins. Proteins are converted into amino acids, and amino acids are deaminated in liver, and then it converted into urea in case of ureotelic animal, because we are ureotelic animal, and in our body the process of conversion of ammonia into urea by complex cyclical process, and this cycle called the ornithine cycle or the Krebs cycle. So all this thing, and the second process will be that is a mechanical process. So physiology of now our today's session, that is the physiology of urine formation. How this urine is produced? Physiology of urine formation means there is a mechanism of the urine formation. How this urine is produced? Because nitrogenous wastage, that is urea, and other unwanted organic and the inorganic substances are separated from the blood plasma, and urine is formed in uriniferous tubules of the kidney in three stages. So all these things to be included under mechanical process. But this physiology of urine formation consists of the chemical process and the mechanical process. So chemical process consists of first upon deamination and second one is ornithine cycle. What is deamination? The process of removal of amino group, because main source of the nitrogenous material are the excess of protein, and removal of amino group from from amino acids. This is the deamination. And then second one is ornithine cycle, the process of conversion of into ammonia into this urea by the complex cycle, and this cyclical process called the ornithine cycle. Okay. So then next upon now start the mechanical process. So in mechanical process there is a mechanical process consists of the three steps. First one is ultrafiltration, second one is tubular reabsorption, and third one is tubular secretion. So what is the ultrafiltration? Ultrafiltration. Okay. Ultra means very fine, and it is also called a glomerular filtration. It takes place in Malpighian body. All of you know that what is a Malpighian body? It is the proximal part of nephron. Glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule are collectively called the Malpighian body. Okay. So this ultrafiltration takes place in Malpighian body. Ultra means very fine. The substances which are filtered under high pressure at microscopic level, or the filtration of blood under high pressure at microscopic level, this is called the ultrafiltration. And here, because the blood enters renal artery, enters the kidney and divided into efferent renal arteriole and the efferent renal arteriole. In last period I already explained. So the diameter of the efferent renal arteriole are more than the efferent, and hence more blood enters in the glomerulus, and the blood which has to be filtered, that blood enters in the glomerulus, and that blood filtered in the glomerulus. Okay. So this generally this ultrafiltration, these all and all substances, that is substances, glomerular capillaries and Bowman's capsule are separated by the basement membrane. The basement membrane are the porous structure, diameter of each pore about 0.1 micron, and the substances therefore less than 0.1 micron, that substances are transferred from glomerulus to Bowman's capsule. But substances are the substances which are more than 0.1 micron, that substances not pass from glomerulus to Bowman's capsule, and the filtered fluid is collected in Bowman's capsule. This is called that fluid divide of the blood plasma protein. Okay. and hence it is called a deproteinized plasma. So there is a glomerular filtration rate can be calculated here. Glomerular hydrostatic pressure, it is about, means pressure of water in the glomerulus is about 55 mmHg, because blood pressure is measured by instrument that is sphygmomanometer. In there is a millimeter marking and mercury are present in them, so that's why we write a such kind of unit, that is mmHg. Then so pressure of blood in the glomerulus is GHP, glomerular hydrostatic pressure. Then Bowman's capsule osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure means pressure of fluid in the Bowman's capsule. It is about 30 mmHg. And the pressure of capsular pressure, that fluid enters in the capsule. So capsular hydrostatic pressure is 15 mmHg. So in this way, thus the effective filtration pressure can be calculated as glomerular hydrostatic pressure minus blood capsular osmotic pressure plus capsular hydrostatic pressure. Glomerular hydrostatic pressure is about 55 mmHg. Understand? Minus pressure of fluid in Bowman's capsule is 30 mmHg plus capsular pressure is 15 mmHg. Okay, so 30 plus 15, 45 mmHg, and 55 minus 45 is equal to the 10 mmHg. So that's why right here value, that is a 10 mmHg. Understand how this total effective pressure can be calculated? Total effective pressure can be calculated by such. I have again repeat here, total hydrostatic pressure calculated here. Pressure of blood in glomerulus plus minus pressure of blood in Bowman's capsule plus capsular hydrostatic pressure. Glomerular hydrostatic pressure is 55 minus pressure of blood in Bowman's capsule is 35 plus hydrostatic pressure, here value is 30, so extremely sorry, 30, and here there is a pressure in the renal capsule is 15 mmHg. So 30 plus 15, 45, and 55 minus 45 is equal to the 10 mmHg. So this is the total effective pressure or effective filtration pressure. Understand? Means this is the 55, this one 55 minus sum of these two, 30 plus 15. Understand? 55 minus sum of these two, 30 plus 15, 45, and 55 minus 45, there is a 10 mmHg effective filtration pressure. And in this way the substances enters in the renal capsule, and then renal capsule to forward in next part, that is in neck, and the neck is the first part of this renal tubule. So in second step there is a next process start, that is a selective reabsorption, but this is a filter here. It is very important that the Malpighian body and the glomerulus are separated by the basement membrane, or it is called a podocyte, and is a porous structure, and the podocyte consists of the two layer, outer is parietal and inner is visceral layer. Visceral layer is a porous structure which show the pore, and the diameter of each pore is about 0.1 micron, and therefore the substances more than 0.1 micron, that substances filter from glomerulus to Bowman's capsule, but these are substances less than 0.1 micron that enters here, but substances more than 0.1 micron, that substances cannot pass, because here space is present and this space is only about 0.1 micron. And then second steps is selective reabsorption. So the useful substances are reabsorbed from the glomerular filtrate is called a selective reabsorption, because it takes place by selective ways. The useful are reabsorbed again, and means again and again, and harmful are carried towards forward direction towards DCT to CT. Okay, so about 99% of the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed by selective reabsorption. This process phenomena proposed by the scientist Richard. It takes place by two ways, active and the passive. What is meant by the active reabsorption? The reabsorption which requires the expenditure of energy, that is called active transport, and which takes place without expenditure of energy, that is the passive transport. Which with the help of expenditure of energy, because all of you know that in last period I already explained, I already talk about PCT content, and there is inside PCT there is a mitochondria present, and mitochondria provide energy for this active absorption. Okay, so active, what is the difference between the active absorption and the passive absorption. The absorption which takes place in expenditure of energy is active transport or active absorption, and the which takes place without expenditure of energy, that is the passive transport. Okay, so on the basis of amount of reabsorption, substances can be passed in such way that they can be classified into three class: high threshold substances, low threshold substances, and the non threshold substances. The substances which are totally or mostly absorbed from the glomerular filtrate are called the high threshold substances, such as glucose, vitamin C, sodium, water, and amino acid. What is low threshold? The substances reabsorb only in small extent are called the low threshold substances. And what are the non-threshold? Non-threshold, the substances which are not reabsorbed at all are called the non-threshold substances, such as the creatine, hippuric acid. This is the example of the non-threshold substances. They are harmful for us. That large amount quantity of water reabsorbed in PCT and loop of Henle following are the reabsorption of the salt. Okay, there is a about 80% of the water reabsorbed from the glomerular filtrate in PCT, and loop of Henle is already permeable to descending is permeable to water, impermeable to salt, and ascending is permeable to salt and impermeable to water, and such type of absorption called the obligatory water reabsorption. Okay, and in the descending loop, there is a facultative absorption of water takes place in the descending loop. This is a chart showing here the differences in the three steps, such as ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption, and the selective then secretions. So third step is tubular secretion. This secretion proposed by the scientist Heydenchens. It is a process glomerular filtrate that enters glomerular filtrate enters, so that again and again reabsorb, but some harmful substances are escaped through these glomerular secretions and absorption, and that enters in the peritubular capillary network. Okay, what is the peritubular capillary network? Efferent renal arteriole form one capillary network around this uriniferous tubule, and this network known as the such kind of network called the peritubular capillary network. Understand? So this is a some substances are escape in the peritubular capillary network, so they are again absorbed from peritubular capillary network to uriniferous tubule in such direction, such as here direction is such like, because they pass in peritubular capillary network, so they are absorbed from capillary network into DCT, DC2 to CT, CT to duct of Bellini to ureter to urine, and which are excrete outside of the body through along with the urine. So this process called the tubular secretions, and these substances such as urea, uric acid, creatinine, hippuric acid, some phosphate, all these substances are secreted here, and this is the end steps in the tubular secretion. Okay students, so I again summarize of this topic in 2 minutes. Physiology of urine formation means mechanism of urine formation. It consists of two steps, chemical and mechanical. Chemical steps consist of the two sub steps. First one is deamination and second is the ornithine cycle. Deamination means the process removal of amino group from amino acid, because the main source of the nitrogenous material are protein, and proteins are made up of amino acid, and that ammonia then converted it into ammonia in deamination, and ammonia converted into urea by the process of ornithine cycle. And the process of mechanical process consists of the three steps. First one is glomerular filtration or the ultrafiltration, because the filtration of blood under high pressure called the glomerular filtration. It takes place in Malpighian bodies. Second one is tubular reabsorption. The substances again and again absorb, known as tubular reabsorption. And third one is tubular secretion. So substances escape along with glomerular filtrate and that pass in the peritubular capillary network. So they again reabsorb from peritubular capillary network to uriniferous tubule to collecting tubules to duct of the Bellini, and this is and that are excreted along with urine. This is the tubular secretion, and in this way mechanism of the urine formation takes place. So if in case of problem, so please write your queries with group, and then thank you very much for this today's session. Thank you student.